on Tuesday was the 24th anniversary of Hulk Hogan dropping that leg at Bash of the Beach.
What is he doing?
My God!
Is he the third man?
He's the third man!
What the hell is going on here?
Hulk Hogan has betrayed WCW! He is the third man!
And of course forming the nWo, and like I've said like numerous times, this is one of the few, and I think this was probably the first WCW pay-per-views that I ever had. My family ordered. My birthday fell around the same time, and that's what I wanted for my birthday that year because I was so very intrigued by what was going to happen, because we knew there was going to be Hall and Nash had kind of hinted that the third man's gonna be there. Who's it gonna be? What's gonna happen? And obviously with Hulk Hogan turning heel, something that I don't think we ever could have seen. I mean, you had the great promo, and there's so many great, and I grabbed a couple of them from the aftermath when Hogan's talking to Mean Gene.
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
And of course, the one we've heard, time and time again, anytime there's any documentary or anything about the nWo.
You can call this the New World Order of Wrestling, brother.
Which, of course, then later in the promo, Hogan's that line, because he calls it the New World Organization, I believe, like numerous times in that. But then a couple more here.
As far as I'm concerned, all of this crap in the ring represents these fans out here.
And then my favorite one that we'll probably say on the soundboard.
You fans can stick it, brother.
And I remember just sitting there watching this going, what happened? And it's probably the heel turn that, if you look over all time, that's probably the biggest one that you thought would never happen. Like, is there one anybody else can think of that you would have thought that would have been more shocking than Hogan becoming a bad guy? Jesus, Ryan.
Yeah, there's nothing really off the top of my head of like what Hulk Hogan means or meant to wrestling fans. There's just never going to be anyone close that measures up to the kind of pulling power one way or the other.
Yeah, it's like Hogan was the forever baby face, and the one thing that kind of came into my mind is like, where does, and I know the nWo obviously got bastardized beyond comprehension between the red and white, or the red and black, and the black and white. And then just, how many members can we get into the ring as a member of the nWo? But when I'm talking about the original three, and obviously it started with Hall and Nash showing up, and you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here, and they're talking about the bullying of Eric Bischoff and everybody around WCW. This original three. Like, where to you does the original three, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, as a New World Order, where do you put them? I know we talked about Mount Rushmore last week, but like where do you kind of rank them, like all time, like faction wise?
You've gotta put that near the top. I think a lot of people think great factions. They think of DX and the nWo. That's like the two that my mind goes to. And each one have had different, versions of it. No different than like the Four Horsemen, and then how Mongo was a Four Horseman, for Christ's sake. So, that's changed. But yeah, that's got to be up there. It's got to be top 2 or top 3 for sure.
Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean NWO is certainly up there. I would say probably two for me behind DX. Um, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe Heart Foundation sneaks in. And I was the whole time you were telling that story, Jim, I was picturing you in a birthday hat watching this heel turn, just like, what's happening?
What is going on? Just sitting in my living room by myself.
I told you I didn't want to watch this WCW show. By the way, happy 21st, Jim. I think you just celebrated your birthday not too long ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
on 21, you can legally drink and
on Monday.
go out to the bar.
Well, eventually, yeah. Maybe in 2021 I'll go to a bar again.
Let's hope and wish.
Tim, where do you put the NWO all time?
I'm gonna put the NWO at 3.
Okay.
Behind the Shield and Evolution.
Wow. Those are two that I wouldn't have in my above. But yeah. Nikki says they're in her top 5. She would put Nexus above them. Don't judge me, she said.
Nexus is really good. The only reason why I don't have the Nexus over them is the Nexus as a group was not successful. The Shield as a group was unstoppable. Could not beat them. Evolution, the whole purpose of Evolution, actually, you know what? NWO is 4. The New Day is 3. The New Day is 3. Because it's all about success of the group. So Evolution's whole point was for everyone to be champion and to insulate Triple H as world champion. And that's what they did.
Sure did.
At one point in time, they were the tag team, intercontinental, and world heavyweight champion. New Day, same reason. They're just the continuity, the success of them as a singles, getting Kofi Mania to where it is. The NWO was prime at the beginning. And then as you added your VK Wall Streets and everything, you just can't it kind of just loses its sizzle.
And yeah, and I guess there is something to be said for that, because even DX had multiple iterations of it, the original, and then you had the 5 of them, and then in later years you just had Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then of course in Saudi Arabia you had bald Triple H and bald Shawn Michaels.
Don't you dare discount the Hornswoggle years.
Oh, I wouldn't dare. But yeah, when any of these groups, and I think maybe that's why to some the Horsemen doesn't make it up there, because again you had the Mongo years with the 4 Horsemen. So
Mongo isn't even the worst Horseman.
Who is?
Mongo's a one-time U.S. champion with the Horsemen.
Mongo is probably one of the more Horseman-esque horsemen that ever horseman. The worst.
Is it Lex Luger?
It's Paul Roma.
Oh, that's fair.
I honestly didn't even remember that Paul Roma was in the Horsemen.
He was a tag team champion with the Horsemen, though.
I don't care.
Everybody carried championships. You're a WCW guy, Tim. Where do you put the Horsemen then?
Horseman's 5.
Horseman's 5. Okay.
Let's see. Devin says he would put NWO in his top 10, but barely in the top 10. And Nikki asks, "What about the Bullet Club?" For me, the Bullet Club obviously has had strength for years, but New Japan isn't my cup of tea. So it's I don't have them very high on my list. Yeah, except for
you can make that argument. I totally get that. I mean, I think they belong on a list, probably top 10. I don't know where I would do a top 10.
Right behind the corporate ministry.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised
Everybody
none of
seemed to
you-
be. We were all really high
none
on the
of you
Nexus.
dickheads even said corporate ministry when Shane McMahon's in it, since you all shine his boots on this show on a weekly basis, but we don't want to just point out the one faction that he was in. Mean Street Posse, by all means, put that one in too.
Hey,
Amen.
Pete Gass, former guest of the show.
It's true.
I'd be high on that. So we all seem pretty high on the Nexus. How low on that list does the core drop?
Core does not exist.
Yeah, I don't.
Low.
Yeah, I don't think they even count. I think
Yikes.
they as your shirt in the background says, Ryan, not best for business. Just not best for business.
I mean, realistically, neither is this shirt. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah, that's
I was wondering that earlier.
yeah.
It's
What?
It's the once in a lifetime, the
What'd you
Onita
do?
Tremont match, which I thought was really, really good. I got that pay-per-view, so I really dug the match. But yeah, it
So
kind of
the
ignore
last-
that. I'll put a.
Now
The
you
last cool thing that CZW did.
like let's
It absolutely is.
let's be fair. You bought that before we found out just how shitty of a company they are, right? Like
Yeah.
like you didn't go
That
out.
I agree with.
You didn't go out and buy that like this week or anything.
Why do you just have painter's tape?
Yeah, it seems like a
When I dressed up like the Blue Meanie for Halloween with my wrist tape,
nice.
and I know I kept it local, so
Okay, Devin says he said the NWO is a top 5, not top 10. And Nikki asks, do you think there could be a great women's faction? I think there could be.
the Iconics we'll just add one more broad and you're there.
Broad, good word choice. Yeah, I think
Not
there.
bad.
I think there certainly could be. I think it would all depend on, having to get the women's rosters deeper on all shows. Because I think that's probably the biggest thing, that's keeping them from having a women's faction like in the WWE right now. Because I don't think any of the women's divisions are necessarily deep enough to have a faction or multiple factions, because I feel like sometimes
Team
you're
bad.
yeah. Yes, they were. I feel like I think sometimes the best factions, like the best time in history is when factions were going against each other.
I don't agree with that team bad comment at all.
Why
I just said we had it. That wasn't
I
a comment.
love team bad.
I was not a fan of Team Bad.
Oh,
Look, if you replace Tamina with Alicia Fox, much better.
but Tamina played the role of Sheezel. Before Raquel Gonzalez was the big girl protecting the little girls, it was Tamina protecting Sasha and Naomi.
I mean, I didn't dislike Team Bad either. I just think I would have enjoyed it more had we had someone more in line with the other two as opposed to Tamina.
I get it. Yeah, I get
Just
it.
kind of like
What's your favorite match?
paper.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
Exactly.
Who?
Yeah, I mean, like, but again,
Dude, you gotta, and I want you to take that segment and just cut it down to the Who, so that way whenever somebody says anything from like New Japan or Ring of Honor, you can just hit the Who.
what's I got?
Who the hell is this?
Oh, you have? Wow, never mind then.
But again, I think like if you have factions going against each other, I mean, like, you think of like DX and the Nation of Domination, the corporation versus the Ministry, things like that. So if you would be able to have the women's rosters deep enough that you could have multiple factions or at least multiple credible teams, that a faction could go, kind of target a tag team to challenge, things like that. I think that's where you would get a little bit more depth into it and really turn into a great female faction. But I think it's absolutely possible.